Debbie Spon is herself a WASPy woman, membership director of the group. Debbie, thank you for answering my SOS. You got that call, did you? Very late in the day. I'm sorry, sometimes that's how my mind works. Can you get me somebody on this, please? And I'm glad to say the team have answered very, very well. When I went to bed and I saw this story, I was like, and then I thought all my kind of suspicious brain stuff. Why are they doing it? They've already turned it down. Why are they doing it now? There's some da. And then I thought, actually, strip that away, Ed. And then let's just talk about the women that may well be affected by this. How did you react when you saw the story?
Well, we were all very surprised after 10 years of campaigning for justice against the government, and the government have denied us every step of the way, to the point where we have had to raise £250,000 to be able to afford to bring a judicial review to try and get the truth told. To suddenly have the government stand up and say, actually, the minister didn't see an important piece of information, and so we're going to have to withdraw what we said, and we're 3 or 4 weeks away from the judicial review. We were absolutely astonished.
Well, you're even closer. I'm sorry to correct you, but I have to give context because you might have heard the BBC under a particular amount of scrutiny. So, I'm dotting I's and crossing T's here. This government have not been in place for 10 years. So it's successive governments. And what's quite interesting about this story to me is that these people who are now in the government, who were in opposition, when in opposition, said they had your back.
Absolutely. I mean, the one thing we do know that WASPy has enormous backbench support, cross-party, and we've always campaigned cross-party. But yes, we were extremely disappointed that when the party who had supported us for so long and so vocally in opposition, when they took power, then refused to support us. It was very disappointing. But, that said, we do work behind the scenes with many, many committed MPs of all parties who back us all the way. So we're not without friends in Parliament.
Yeah, but I'm really sorry. I wish it was about you. It feels like something bigger is happening here. Something, the optics have changed. Do you mind doing me a favour, Deb? Do you mind? I get it that you're an expert and you come to this telling me about government and backbench and pressing people and all of that, but you probably have a personal story too.
Well, my personal story is like many WASPy women's personal stories. We're women all affected by the same things, but in different ways. So I found out just under 2 years before I was due to retire that I wouldn't be getting my state pension when I expected. I've been a lifelong carer, and so I didn't have the opportunity to have a well-paid job or a career, and I don't have a private pension. And many WASPy women are entirely dependent on the state pension. I have a husband who supports me, but many women are single. And the impact on women, they've lost their homes, they've lost their financial independence and their feeling of self-worth. And we trusted the government to do the right thing by us. And many have suffered from depression and anxiety. We get terrible, terrible messages from women who are in dire straits and who are suffering badly. And there are women who did make the right, sensible choices, who were able to save and put into a pension, who have also been disadvantaged by the terrible failure on the part of the government just to let women know, just to send us a letter. And what's worse is some of the missed evidence that the minister didn't see is the bit where it told the Department for Work and Pensions that women like us do read letters in brown envelopes from the tax and the Department for Work and Pensions, which completely contradicts what the government used as an excuse to not pay us compensation. We are a generation of conscientious sort of women. We did what we were told. We did our jobs. We paid our national insurance, and we expected to retire at 60. But WASPy isn't arguing against the increase to the state pension age. We agree in equalising it with men's state pension age. But it's the fact that the government didn't think we were worth telling. in advance, giving women an opportunity to make good proper choices, or not to give up work to look after their elderly parents, which is what many women of our generation did. So trying to go back into work after your mum or dad has died, when you've got no computer skills at that time, was nigh on impossible. So WASPI women have been treated badly, and we feel, and the Ombudsman agreed, that we should be compensated just for the lack of notice, not the 6 years, up to 6 years of loss of state pension, which for, many WASPI women could be £40,000 or £50,000. But we're asking for a fraction in compensation.
Debbie, I hope we can stay in touch. I'm following the story really closely, and I appreciate you coming onto the show.